we have Buck.ai, and they have been revolutionizing how our home services industry have been using AI in their shops. Specifically, artificial intelligence is on everyone's minds across the every industry, and Buck is the only company, possibly, which has custom-built AI solutions for the trades. A lot of Nexstar members are already using them, and we'd love for you to be able to hear more so that you can contact them directly. We'll give you contact information later on in this webinar. So today from Buck.ai, we have Aditya and Dave here, and I'd love for you two to start by introducing yourselves, and then we'll get to the rest of our panel.
Hi, I'm Utku Dave Kaynar, co-founder at Buck.ai. I've been in the software industry for over 15 years and started 3 companies focusing on B2B software. And Buck.ai is the latest baby of me and Aditya Bhuwania, with the focus of bringing AI to home services.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Dave there. I'm Aditya Bhuwania, I'm co-founder at Buck.ai. We have spent over 6 years building this company and thinking about it. So a little bit about myself. I spent my formative years in Texas, went to UT for my MBA in computer science, so go Longhorns for whoever out there. After that, for last over a decade, I've worked in high-tech companies like Amazon and Google, and I've built cutting-edge technologies, leveraging AI tools like Alexa, AWS Cloud, Google Cloud, etc. Now, just wanted to say, companies like Amazon has been using AI for the last 15 years to deliver right packages in the shortest period of time. Google has used AI for the last 20 years to show you the right results when you search. And so our goal since the beginning had been to bring the same technology and intelligence to the trades industry, and that's what Buck.ai is doing. Back to you, Ilse.
Right. Thank you, both of you. We also have joining us today Chris Donnelly, Nexstar member, and he has been using Buck.ai for about 4 years now. Chris, I would love for you to introduce yourself to all of our members that'll be listening in.
Sure. I'm Chris Donnelly. I'm the owner of Donnelly's Home Comfort Specialists in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. We've been Nexstar members for, since I guess 1996. So we've been around for a long time, and we like to try and adopt technology early, and this is certainly one of those things that came along and we really enjoy.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Utku, how about we turn to you next?
Yep. What's the question?
So, Utku, can you tell me about Buck.ai? Maybe a little bit about how you've gotten started and where you are now.
Yeah, so Buck.ai has started in the streets of Berkeley while we were part of UC Berkeley's startup incubation program back in 2019. We were discussing with Aditya Bhuwania on what we can do to use our expertise in AI and software, and which industries would be impacted from AI and whatnot. So we have found out that the home services underwent a paradigm shift a decade ago, moving from whiteboards or servers to the internet to run the business. That's how the major field service management platforms came to fruition. Now, there is another shift in how we run our businesses. AI is creating a similar gap to enable businesses with the next wave of innovation for a collaboration between humans and machines to achieve more with fewer resources and quicker and cheaper. And this is actually why and how Buck.ai is built, to create a collaboration between humans and machines so that we can achieve more with less. And I'd like to pass the baton to Aditya here. Maybe he has a few words more to talk about.
Again, as we all know, like we live in this world with ChatGPT and many other technologies out there making a noise. We have accepted the fact that AI is the future, right? And Buck.ai is making the most advanced and sophisticated AI-powered software for trades industry. No other company has even ever gotten even close to what we are doing with AI. in last 5 years for sure, right? So that's one thing I wanted to start saying. Much like, internet in early 2000s, right? Many top businesses adopted internet, like Amazon, Google, and others, and they became widely successful. And the flip side is people who didn't, businesses who didn't, get left behind, right? So that's what we are saying with Buck.ai. We are leveraging here AI softwares and making these things for parts of your businesses and giving our users an unfair advantages over others who don't use it, right? As of today, we have like Dispatch IQ, Call Center IQ, Analytics IQ, and Communication IQ. We are also building our version of Trades GPT. It's a chat GPT, but only for trades, right? So that's coming up as well. Now with this, basically our goal is to make a very smart brain. And we are making this brain to help your dispatchers, CSRs. Essentially, we are using thousands of data points from your business and then market data, weather data, Google Maps data. We are combining all this to create this smart intelligence and bring into all the Nexstar networks, right? Members, I mean. A lot of members who are working with us, they have seen higher growth revenue, operational efficiencies, reduction in cost massively, and much better handle of how to run their business as they go, right? As we go today, we'll talk a little bit more about this. Let's dive deep. Back to you, Ilse.
I have a follow-up question, if it's all right, Ilse. I know that Buck integrates with ServiceTitan and QuickBooks, which are companies that our members are very familiar with. Can you give some details about what that integration looks like and what sort of insights you're able to pull from those integrations?
Okay, for sure. First of all, we connect with a lot of FSM. ServiceTitan is the one we got started. We are totally integrated with them. The way we work, it takes only 24 hours to get up and running with our default configuration on ServiceTitan. We are able to consume all the data you have in ServiceTitan, like years worth of data, and train this smart brain fully customized for your business under 24 hours. We then have business consultation, which we do to even curate that brain according to your liking. So it's not a technology which just forces itself on you. This is the technology which wants to work with you. It comes to you, understands your business, and works accordingly. It gels you in your company culture and the way you want to run your business. So that is how we kind of like integrate with ServiceTitan and others. Yeah.
Thank you, Aditya.
Yes, thank you. That was a great answer.
Thank you.
Chris, you've been with Buck, you said for almost 4 years or a little over 4 years. What are the major values you found in it? What sort of insights have they led you to find that have kept you a customer at Buck?
I think that what initially led us to them, and I guess I'll answer your question in two parts. What initially led us to them was the fact that we are traveling in a spread out area from house to house. We have to meet people at those houses, and then we have to be able to deliver a service with the right parts. And the complexities of this are actually much more than we believe they are when we first look at this problem. And so matching the right technicians with the right job was always something that we were trying to get better at, and using software and using technology to be able to do that, to predict which were the good calls and which were the guys that were best for those calls, seemed to make sense. We use the technology today to do just that, and so we can optimize for how are we going to generate the highest revenue out of the calls that we have with the guys that we have, right, while still optimizing for the shortest route. And I think that by putting these things together, we've seen increased productivity from techs of all abilities. Our dispatchers have come up to speed very, very quickly. What used to take months to train a really good dispatcher is now down into weeks, because there's not the time spent trying to figure out like, okay, well, what's a good call, right? And or who's the best technician? The system does that work for you, and it allows dispatchers to really focus on getting to know the technicians, getting to know your clients, and getting to know your customers, and having more human-like interactions with those people.
That's awesome.
That's great, Chris. You know, it actually leads us into the next part that we really wanted to talk about. First of all, I want to welcome the few Nexstar members that have joined us live. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you've got questions, please feel free to raise your hand and we'll call on you, and we'll also monitor the chat and can answer questions there. But I know that those few the Nexstar members are wondering, as we are, the rest of us are. Mike just asked a great question, Chris, that how are you using dispatch? And you know how dispatchers may hear about AI and think, how is this going to affect me? Is this going to take my job? So
Yeah.
Aditya, Utku, if you could explain that, and Chris, then also talk about how that's affected you in your shop.
Absolutely.
Cool. I can take this. So
Yep.
I'll take this. I'll say this. I spent my formative years in Texas, right? One of the things which I learned from my professor was a worker or a professional is only as good as its tool, right? So at Buck.ai, our goal was always to make the best tool that can increase a professional that is a dispatcher or a call center person or even anybody operational lead. Our goal was always to be the best tool, increase their productivity, increase their efficiency, and that's how they could impact their job both positively by getting higher revenue, saving costs for the company, and doing more in less time, essentially, right? All our products, I mean, give superhuman-like power to dispatchers, call center reps, and technicians, right? They're able to do more in less time. None of our products can work without a dispatcher or a call center rep. Like, please don't take our product and try to like fire people. Take our product to enable your people and make them way better professional than they were. Give them this tool and they would show results very fast, right? So that's what we want to say.
Yeah, I think
Thank
that's
you.
really valid. You know, like we introduced this a while back, and AI was still really new back then, and people were really nervous. And I can remember a lot of people having reservations about like, oh, should we do this? We're going to lose our jobs? And I never viewed it as something that would allow you to reduce headcount. This is, as Aditya said, it's more of it's a productivity tool, right? Because we're already doing these things, right? But people aren't necessarily so good at doing the math of matching these things up. So like, let's leave that to the machine and let's let the people focus on doing people things, right? Talking to customers, talking to technicians, building relationships and delivering real value to people. You know, the machine can't do those things. And so the tool helps people do those things with more people in a given day, right? Which increases your productivity, which increases your customer satisfaction, which increases your customer loyalty. And for us, that's what we've seen with it.
That's great. Thank you.
Or do you have another one, Ilse?
No, you go, Mike.
Or did you want to say something, Aditya?
I just wanted to add to what Chris said. Like one of the examples I give that for a dispatcher to do the best dispatch, right? I mean, skills alignment, they got all that. Like they've known their guys, they do that, right? And we are able to replicate that in our system. But one thing dispatchers just cannot do, they don't know what's happening on the streets out there. They don't know what's the weather going to be 2 days out, right? And that changes a lot. Our system is connected with Google Live traffic data. Our system is connected with the weather data. We are able to like understand, hey, if there is an accident in I-5, probably don't send that guy through that route or send somebody else who was probably in that part of the town and is equally skilled and should be able to do the job, right? So those are some of the things which enhances a professional, right? A dispatcher's role, right? It gives that superhuman power to a dispatcher, right? And they are able to like really use that information and make best decisions.
That's awesome.
Aditya, I think I've heard you before say that your product makes a dispatcher the superhero of the shop, right?
Yep. Superhero without capes. That's what we say.
Yes.
Heroes of the company.
Can you for those who are watching and probably don't know, can we talk about your 4 products and what they are, what they do, and how they're helping members not only be more efficient but be more profitable with the insights you're able to provide?
Sure. I'll let Dave talk about 4 products and then we could do a little bit quick demo and whatnot. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing that we have developed while we started the company was the dispatch engine, which is called Dispatch IQ. It is capable of assigning thousands of jobs to the best technicians in a matter of minutes, while also optimizing the routing for each and every one of those technicians. So the amount of work that was like taking hours before Buck.ai now it was down to a few minutes only. Okay. And with that in mind, it's able to optimize the capacity and optimize the routing so it can provide even to the extent of one extra job per tech per day to the business. Then we have extended this ability to the call center with the notion of providing the CSR the information for who is the best technician and what's the soonest availability for this particular job. Again, based on the historical data of the business. And on top of that, as Aditya pointed out, we are providing seasonality information to the managers. How are they doing in a weather surge? How are they doing in the week right before the Thanksgiving? Or how are they doing in the of the year? And what are their average ticket sizes on a job type basis, or on a technician basis, or on a business unit basis? Just like that, at the tip of their fingers. And finally, the fourth product is we have ported this entire experience of dispatch and voice call booking to chat. Here is why. The majority of the homeowners in the United States are now millennials. And being a millennial myself, I hate calling. I prefer texting. Backing up. No offense, Chris. So basically, then you have to provide the same experience using text channels like Facebook Messenger, Google Business Chat, regular text messages and whatnot. And finally, we are going to be unveiling a tool that is able to run the conversation from greeting to dispatch on its own, and it's called Trace GPT. It's coming up in 2 months. So there you go.
Cool.
Very, very exciting about the Trace GPT. I can't wait to see what that looks like.
I know. We are super excited. We are like some of the best engineers are working on it, and we are making sure like it lands perfectly. How about this? Like, since you asked about the product, I was hoping we could just give you guys a quick sneak peek of what it looks like, right? So let's do that, right? So let's talk about Dispatch IQ. Before you hit on, could you pause it for a second? So as of today, what happens in our business is a dispatcher spends anywhere between 6 to 9 hours dispatching. Like Nexstar Network recommends a dispatcher to technician ratio of about 8 to 1 or 10 to 1. And you know, like a 12 to 1, they recommend like, hey, let's just get more dispatchers, right? Also, dispatchers like have to kind of do a lot of these things throughout the day and work their way up as they are doing. So about 6 to 9 hours just spent on job assignment. So that's the current world without Buck.ai. Now with Buck.ai, what happens? A dispatcher comes in and we are able to do job assignments within seconds or minutes. Example, this person came in on February 9th. He started clicking a few buttons, and within the click of 3 buttons, he is presented with a dispatch board. Can you stop for a sec? On the left, you see all your technicians, you know, and there are 2 different sites, the main site and the eastern side. All the beautifully, like the dispatch board is set up. On the top right corner, you're able to see the potential revenue of this dispatch board, right? And once you hit publish, this gets published directly to your Service Titan dashboard, right? This is optimized first for dollars and then for route. You're making sure your technicians are spending less time on the street, more time with customers, and more time with customers translates to better and higher revenue. Also, we provide location and the scheduling configuration, all of that allows you to manage your capacity the best, that allows right technician to go to the right place, and much, much more, right? It's a very configurable system, and you know, like it can get up and running within 24 hours for our basic setup, and then a couple of weeks for customization. Results, what people are getting out of this is, so as you can see, like these are, you can search through jobs and things like that. There's just a lot more stuff going in here. But some of the results which people are getting, your job assignment time from 6 to 9 hours goes down to 1 to 10 minutes. Yes, 1 to 10 minutes just for job assignment. As the new job comes in, you can keep running the dashboard and your highest priority jobs would be placed to the top and the best technician would go there. So it takes just minutes. Since we are able to give one extra, because of route optimization and technician best technician alignment, since we are able to do that, you get one extra job per technician per day. You heard it right, one job per technician per day, translating to about $500 to $1,000 per day increase in revenue. And average Nexstar members have reported about 20 to 25% increase in revenue after they have adopted Dispatch IQ. Some of the lucky ones have also gotten over 40%, right? So that's just tremendous results coming out of this. And that's the power of AI. Also, a dispatcher can now handle 50, 60 tech dispatches. Yes, 50, 60 tech dispatches. There are multiple companies who are doing 30 techs per dispatcher, 40, 60, and 80 techs per dispatcher. So connect with us. We could talk more about references on our customers there.
Awesome. And it sounds, I don't think you touched on this point, but it sounds like it's also pretty environmentally friendly. You're keeping your techs on the road for as small amount of time as possible. And I always to look for efficiencies that help with that. So a huge benefit, I think.
Great point.
So let me talk a little bit more on the call center piece as well. So you have just seen the engine that is capable of assigning a number of jobs, hundreds of jobs, to a number of technicians in a matter of minutes. Then we started to think about this. What would happen if we use the same technology for the CSRs while they are booking calls? Because in the typical experience, they have to scramble between multiple browser tabs to check if the location is in the service area, if there's an opening in the capacity board or the dispatch board, thinking about who is the best technician for this particular job type. Where is this technician at the moment? And should I be assigning this job to him, and so on and so forth? Multitasking while trying to keep the customer happy and satisfied on the other end of the phone, right? This is what the current CSR experience looks like. So we have changed all of that using Buck.ai. Now, CSR has to focus only on keeping the customer happy, while Buck.ai does the search for the best technician and the availability with the single click of a button, just like this. So it's instantaneous. When the CSR clicks the button for find appointment, Buck.ai finds the appointment, brings the availabilities, and when the CSR clicks select, it creates an appointment on the field service software that the customer is using, whether it's Service Titan, Fusion, or whatnot. And the main idea here is keeping the customer happy and preventing the CSR from multitasking. The result, 50% drop in call times, while the CSAT being intact. So what's the outcome? Outcome is you can now take double the volume of calls that you were doing with the same number of CSRs using Buck.ai. So here you go.
I also wanted to add, when you hit that select, we just don't create an appointment. We create a soft dispatch. The capacity from the best technician mic is used up. So this is the first of industry's chat to dispatch solution. We are not doing chat to booking. We're doing chat to dispatch. And this is how you're ensuring there are no overbookings, right? No overbookings. And so all the extra overbookings are moved to the underbooked days. So this is a call center IQ solution, which also does your capacity optimization. So imagine that, right? Like you're not only getting the highest priority jobs scheduled at the first time, but you're also like backend, it's rejuggling to get you to manage your capacity, both from over capacity days to under capacity days.
That's awesome.
So, and finally, let's show you guys a glimpse of what Trace GPT will be looking like from a human agent's perspective. So it is basically looking like an actual conversation with a customer and the CSR. In this example, you see the human example, but the main idea here is, again, bringing the conversation from greeting to dispatch. In this example, on the right-hand side, you see the mobile phone of the end user, and on the left-hand side, you see the CSR screen. So CSR is now looking for the perfect availability without trying to find, without going back and forth between browser tabs and whatnot, just focusing on conversating with the customer. This Buck.ai can trigger this conversation by sending texts to your members, and when they reply, your CSRs will be handled multitude of customers at the same time, so that being able to set up multitude of appointments. And you really don't have to assign to an actual technician using Buck.ai. You can perfectly assign a job to a writer. And once you do that, Buck.ai will be creating an unassigned job, picking for the dispatch IQ engine, waiting for the dispatch IQ engine to pick it up later and assign to the best technician that you have, basically. So the problem solved for the text-based conversations, millennials like myself as well. So there you go, Mike.
Very cool.
That's cool. We do have a question from a participant. They're wondering if you will be at Pantheon Service Titan in September to demo this live.
Well, Aditya?
We have not thought about it, but I think if that's a question, we'll take it seriously, and we'll try to see if we can get a booth or something, actually.
Yeah.
But
and
another great answer would be that you will be at the trade show, at the Nexstar trade show in October. So
Exactly.
you will.
that was my
yeah.
answer.
Sorry.
Actually, we plan to be on the stage for the breakouts. So if you come to the super meeting, let's meet at the breakout. So we unveil this and much more with the demo and answer your questions at the super meeting.
Yeah. Also, we are doing one-on-one company demos. So like, you don't have to wait for a Pantheon or something.
Yeah.
We'll share that information. You can reach out to us for that. I mean, it's literally Aditya at Buck.ai and Dave at Buck.ai. You could just like reach out to us and be like, hey, when can we schedule an hour or so to kind of get this personal time with you and get that one-on-one demo.
Perfect. And Dave just put a link into the chat group too for anybody that's on, so that you can reach out directly to get a demo.
Awesome.
While we have you, if you don't mind, I've got one more question, and Mike might have one too. I would love to know what it's like when you onboard a new member. So what can they expect? And Chris, if you could talk about that from your point of view, and then Dave and Aditya, if you could also talk about that from the Buck.ai point of view.
Yeah, we onboarded maybe 3-4 years ago, and I'm certain that many things have changed since then. And other people who are on the call have onboarded technology might identify with this. It was so smooth that I don't remember it. So like there was no headaches, there was no problems or anything. And just to kind of play this forward, I think in the years we've been using it, there's only been like 1 or 2 outages where we've had to like contact them to get support, and in both of those cases it was a user error on our end. So I say that in context of how was the onboarding, because like once it's in the system, I don't think it's ever had a failure.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So Aditya, can I get the onboarding? So the typical onboarding looks like this. We do a 15-minute meeting to connect to your field service management software. And then 24 hours later, the data is there ready for you to take action upon that with the default configuration. But our team typically schedules 30-minute meetings for the first week of the onboarding if you want to customize your configuration. And within 2 weeks, you'll be just done for the dispatch piece. That is how smooth it goes for the moment. For the most complex setups, it doesn't take more than 3 weeks tops. So there we go.
Nice. 3 weeks is not too bad.
Right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also wanted to add, like, I think I touched on this earlier. This is the first technology we have created which comes to you versus you having to hire people to learn technology and work with it, right? And the way we achieve it is during an onboarding, we do business consultation sessions and we hear everything, and there's like a bazillion configuration and we set up for you. Like, and once you set it, and as Chris said, it's set it and forget it. Like, we enable you, we still make you understand what happens. And like everything is in very simple English. It's not Codanese or anything. You don't have to think about any codes. There is no codes you would see from us. Trust me. And if you have smart people, they would be disappointed, right? Like people who are trying, they'll be disappointed because it's English. Like literally, Dave and I, when we started, we were like, anybody who could create a Facebook account and post pictures, they should be able to use our product. Like that's how we have designed.
It's probably easier than that. Like as hearing you say that, like it's pretty bulletproof.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
that's what it is about onboarding in us.
That's great. What have we not touched on yet today that you think you should make sure to get out there?
I'd like to talk a little bit more on what AI means to home services. I mean, before working with home service companies, I really was not aware that this was such a data-intense industry. If you think about it, the data is flowing from everywhere to the operating system that you guys are using, whether it's Service Titan, Service Vision, whatsoever, right? And the field service management took a paradigm shift a decade ago when the companies went from whiteboards to internet-based solutions that we are using today. The second wave of innovation right now is coming with AI, and AI will be changing how we run our businesses. Because if you think about it, we are using the most scarce of the resources for the most mundane tasks, like shuffling jobs around the whiteboard and trying to think about who is the best technician for any. And what's the scarcest source that we are using today? It's the human brain. It's the human intelligence. What it's built for is actually creative problem solving. So this is why Buck.ai is trying to cultivate a collaboration between humans and the machines, so that we, as businesses and as individuals, can reach our maximum potentials. So this is the shift that we are seeing right now, and in the next 3 to 5 years. The companies who are using AI and automation in more and more will be seeing an unfair advantage for themselves. So,
right. I just wanted to add that one of the things we haven't talked is the talent of the team we have, right? We basically started in UC Berkeley, right? We have researchers who have had their PhDs and masters and who have had deep technical knowledge at delivering high quality of products in every other industry. Now, when I said skills and the technology, we didn't build this in vacuum with engineers in a garage, how Apple was created. We work with Nexstar coaches. We work with customers like Chris and many others to understand trades industry first, right? Like we knew we were good in tech, but we needed to learn your language and learn how things are happening when rubber meets the road. So a lot of things you would see in our software is literally coming from Nexstar coaches. It's literally coming from Nexstar members who are telling us, dude, you got this right? Oh, dude, you have no clue about this. Like we were both confident and staying humble while we were making this. And I think like after 4 years of this journey, like I'm very confident like what we have is pretty mature and pretty solid. Right. Now that said, we do have another question there.
Oh yeah.
I guess I went ahead and answered that. I'm sorry.
But let's talk about it. So that's
Yeah.
everybody. So the question
Yeah.
is, does Buck.ai require skills and ACP to be set up in ServiceTitan? Dave?
The answer is no. It doesn't need to, because all the skills and the capacity is already right there in your data. So what Buck.ai does is understanding who is skilled in which job type, and also reading your capacity for a number of days or weeks, so that how many open capacity we have to allocate within. So again, for both of them, the answer is no. You don't have to set them up.
Right. I also wanted to add one thing, like when people ask us, hey, what is difference between AI? AI sound like a black box. So one of the differences between AI and rule-based system is, for the rule-based system, you have to set up like a bunch of stuff and then set up a bunch of rules and things like that. AI is like human brain. When humans see things, they learn by seeing and experiencing. So AI, what it does, it looks at all the technicians, what work they have done, how much money they have bought in, and things like that. And then they kind of deduce a pattern of who is good at what and who is the best effective person. Then they learn from these other maps data and weather data and other market indicators to create a very smart brain, right? That's what's happening with AI. And that's why it's so much more sophisticated than these other dispatch solution, which are coming and you have to set up a bunch of stuff, right? So that's one big thing I wanted to say is like AI is brain first and set up later versus the traditional system, which is set up first and then you get some results out of it, right? So that's one of the big ones I wanted to address. I also wanted to say one more thing, like we are the only companies, since you talked about skills, which calculates a job score and a sales score separately. We are able to, that's how distinguish between the guys who are good at tech versus the guys who are good at talking and evaluating and coding and converting, right? And we send very cognitively the right person to the right job. Again and again, Nexstar teaches this, and we have got it down, that get the right person to the right job and drive for dollars. So that's like the biggest thing we do. Dave, you want to add anything?
Yeah, so but as Aditya pointed out, we are the first company to put a number on the technician's ability to convert a lead in the industry. Nobody has done that ever before. And the result is, if you want to send your best selling technician to mainline backups, it's just a single click away in Buck.ai. And this is virtually something that is non-existent. So.
Any questions?
I don't see anybody, but any attendees, members, if you've got questions, feel free to unmute yourself or type in questions. Otherwise, I think this is a great spot to say that you've been fantastic partners. I love hearing all of the detail in the stories, and the way that you've told the story illustrates how you've acted as a partner within Nexstar. You are learning all the time, and you're always soliciting feedback, giving feedback. I think Chris speaks really well to that too. Chris, we really appreciate your time and talking about how this has affected you and your team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Nexstar is obviously built up of the world's greatest tradespeople, and I think having cutting edge technologies like Buck.ai as partners is just you've shown your alignment with your willingness to be flexible and update and change your product to meet our members' needs. And I think, you know, Chris's testimony is just proof of that alignment, and we're just thankful to have you as partners and to be involved with something so cutting edge. Again, very excited about the Trades GPT. I can't wait to see more.
Thank you. We are also very thankful to be a part of the a big Nexstar community. it's very exciting to be the partner, getting to meet with members who have accomplished so much in the home services and being able to help them with our technology. Really, that's what's keeping us working day in and day out. So yeah.
Last one to all of that.
Well, with that, we're going to wrap up this episode of Good News Early. I really appreciate everybody's time. We will be disseminating this information. Thank you, everybody who attended today also, and go have a great Nexstar day.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Aditya. Thanks, Utku.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
Bye.